Hey guys, Peter here to do an EP review today. I'm here to tell you all about the latest from Hinayana, Death of the Cosmic, out August 28th on Napalm Records. This EP has 5 tracks, 23 minutes in length, and this is the band's first EP, also first release and signing with Napalm Records. I'm a huge fan of these guys, it's not a surprise, but having said that, I'm not going to take it easy on them. I had set really lofty expectations for what I wanted to hear from this release. Considering how good the debut album was, I felt if they surrounded themselves with the right people, with the right tools, they could really grow and take their sound to the next level. This EP shows that the growth has been a lot faster and a lot quicker than what I had expected. Perhaps a lot of that has to do with the fact that they've played a lot of live shows with much larger bands that are within the same genre and outside of their genre, but all of these experiences allow them to gain the necessary fortitude in order to really understand what they need to do in order to take those next steps in the evolution of the band. I wanted to see an album that's a lot better constructed, or in this case an EP that's a lot better constructed. I wanted to see songs that are better constructed. I wanted to see a better dynamic between the lyrics and the overall atmosphere that the songs have. I wanted to see better mixing. I wanted to see something from them that showed me that the talent was already there, but they just had to take it to the next level. Having said all of that, I feel like this EP crosses almost every single checkbox on that list. There's a few items that I still feel like perhaps they could have been done better, and I will address those, but overall I'm happy with this release. It definitely met a lot of my criterias. I felt that the overall sound is definitely closer to what they want to be as a band and as musicians. The soundscape for this band is here. Was already there on the debut album, but here is a lot better defined. It's a lot more obvious to the listener who they are, what they're trying to achieve with their music. So that to me is definitely a step up on the evolution of the band. 2 things that I would like to see slightly improved as they move on into the future, into a full-length release. One of them is the vocals and how they're mixed into the rest of the tracks. I feel like they're a little bit hidden in the mix. I would like to see them a little bit more in the forefront, have more of a center stage. They're really powerful, they're really heavy, and they definitely add an ambiance to the way the tracks come across. In this release, I felt that they were a little bit hidden into the mix, a little bit too deep into everything else that is happening. This is not a straightforward band. This is a band that has a lot of layers to their music, to the way they construct songs, and to the way the songs are structured. So having the vocals a little bit hidden, if that's the goal, then they achieve the goal. But in my opinion, it really takes a little bit of the impact that the vocals could have on a release like this and on a band like this. The other aspect of it is the structure. This structure is 50-50. I normally don't talk about a structure when it comes to an EP, but I felt like on this case, I really need to address it because I like a lot of the ideas that they put forward. They really constructed this almost like an album, like a full-length release. And kudos to them for thinking about it that way and not just throwing 5 songs together and just putting it out there as an EP and not really putting the thought process necessary in order to create something that's going to have the right dynamic mechanisms and the right fluidity. So I like the overall structure of this release. I like the fact that the opening track has a similar, almost the same melody as the closing track has. So there's a sense of going full circle, full loop. Breaking the EP in the middle with an instrumental track is also great. I love that. It gives a sense of release. It gives a sense of the fans being able to catch their breath before the second half of the EP comes in and the aggression starts and the intensity starts. I like how they group the songs. I love the fluidity that the tracks have. Having said that, I felt that the tracks could have been better interconnected. There's a lot of similarities within the tracks, and in my opinion, they didn't take full advantage of those similarities. Perhaps the fear was that it would become slightly repetitive, that the songs didn't have enough of a break between them to really segregate them and separate them into 5 individual songs. But I think that's perhaps looking too much into it and not understanding that for an EP, you could totally have that fluidity and you could totally have that interaction between songs and it wouldn't be repetitive at all. Because the songs, while having some of the same elements, they're very different in how they're constructed and how they're delivered. So even if you had some elements that bleed in from one song to the other, I don't think that would change that much as far as the overall feel of the record, but definitely would improve the fluidity of the album, because right now some songs you almost are wishing that they continue into the next track, because they're almost there, and then it stops. So I just feel like those are some of the smaller things that you can look into if you're thinking about a full-length album, where you have a lot more songs to work with. You have to have a lot better fluidity in order to keep the listener engaged from the first all the way to the last track. You can get away with it on an EP because it's just short, 5 tracks. On a full-length release, it's a lot harder to do that. You have to be a lot more creative in order to keep the listener engaged. Now, as far as the songs are concerned, let's start off at the top. Death of the Cosmic. I love this song, very melodic opening. The vocals gain heaviness as the song progresses, and this is present not just as the song opens, but it's there throughout the track. I really love this. I like the idea behind it. There's a sense of growth, which is also a sense that you get from this EP. Overall, you feel like the songs are getting better as they progress along. So there's a climatic moment that ends with the last track on this release, and this song that opens up the EP has a little bit of that built in, and how the vocals come across. I love that. Once you get into the verses are definitely somber because of that build-up, because of how they start, or the way the vocals start. You really feel like the verses have a little bit more of a dark nature to it when you compare it to how melodic the chorus is, and how different it is, and how much brighter it is. The drums definitely add substantial heaviness to the way the song sounds, and it really counterbalances the overall melody that it has. I really felt that this was a song that was very melodic, and if you didn't have you have the vocals that add obviously heaviness, but because you have that growth in the vocals, they're not always heavy. So when the drums came in, they kind of replaced the vocals a little bit and added a little bit more substance to the way the song is put together. The solo fits in like a glove. I thought it was phenomenal. It really brought a little bit of the essence of the track, a little bit of both worlds, the heaviness and the melody side, and really created the perfect segue for this song, allowing the track to just really blend in melody and melancholy from start all the way to finish. Next, Cold Conception, a heavier, more driven track in my opinion, still using the keyboard melody as perhaps the foundation of the track. I really felt that on this song it was really obvious, that keyboard melody, but at the same time was very hidden. So it's more of the foundation where everything else is just packed upon. All the heaviness is packed upon that foundation. I like how it moves well from the verses to the chorus. It's a song that doesn't really break those two elements. There's not a clear divide between them. It really alternates the heaviness with melancholy all the way throughout. There's like this wave, this current feel of the waves coming in and out, and that's how the melody and melancholy work within this track itself, allowing the song to be very well balanced, almost creating a harsh atmosphere of isolation. You almost feel like you're alone in a cold tundra when you're listening to this song. It has that visual aspect to it. Listening to this song, I had glimpses of Wolfheart. This song is definitely influenced by that band. I felt it from the way the song was constructed, the atmosphere that it had, the way it was put together, and then obviously how it was delivered. Next, Yet Here I Wait Forever. Sorry about that. Yet Here I Wait Forever. This is an instrumental track that really breaks this release into two. I love it. I like the melody that it has. It really shows a different side of the band. It really shows how creative they are. The quality of the musicianship on this track is absolutely phenomenal, and it really gives you a different glance. It really gives you a different look. They're not just a heavy band. They can really create intricate, melodic, beautiful tracks, and this one is one of them. This could have also been used as an intro to a much longer track, but it works so well on its own. It's absolutely beautiful. You don't want to add vocals into it because I think it would take away from everything that this song is all about, and that's about the beauty, the isolation of the music, and the beauty that it carries. Next, in Sacred Dissolution, I like this song. It features Toni Toivonen from Hanging Garden, so that adds a different dynamic as far as vocals are concerned. I like the dynamic between the two vocalists. They have similar styles, similar approaches, so there's not an incredible break between them, but there's definitely an added value by having a featured vocalist on this track. The song has a more slow, melodic nature to it. It moves across at a much slower pace. The vocals add a lot of heaviness to the track. I felt that most of the heaviness of the song was really brought in by the vocals and by what they had within themselves, the emotion that they carried. Musically, the song also has a better blend of heaviness and melody. It really walks that fine line between the two, and it's really the vocals that are pushing the envelope and bringing that heaviness to the forefront. The solo is outstanding. It really brightens the song. It gives a little bit of a bridge. It extends the track ever so slightly, but the vocals are really the heartbeat of this song. The acoustic guitar that closes off the track is phenomenal. The only thing that is wrong with that is that it should have continued into Pitch Black Noise. That's how it should have been, because Pitch Black Noise, which is the next song, which is the last song on the album, on the EP, starts off with an acoustic guitar intro. The way it should have been, in my humble opinion, is that these two tracks should have been interconnected. You should have had the ending of In Sacred Delusion connect into Pitch Black Noise. The two, there should have never been a break there. The two should have flowed one into the other, and that to me would allow this closing part of the EP to be even bigger, because Pitch Black Noise is just an incredible track. They really saved the best track for last. This is an epic track, and if you had these two songs almost merged together, in my opinion, it would have even enhanced this track even better. It would have made it even bigger. It would have given it a lot more presence, a lot more soul. Having said that, I love how epic it sounds, from overall music to vocals to the structure to the delivery, everything about this track. This is really the best track on this release, and I'm glad they left it for last, because it left the fans, when you have this as your last song, it leaves the fans wanting more. And there's this sense, like I said at the beginning, there's this sense of growth from the first track all the way to the last. So there's this crescendo to it, and then it all explodes with this song, Pitch Black Noise. The drums on it are phenomenal. I love the heaviness, the brutality that they have. The melodies are haunting. The vocals really come together perfectly, and then the song finishes off very similar to how the EP then starts. So there's that sense of full circle. I just wish In Sacred Delusion and Pitch Black Noise were interconnected with that acoustic guitar. I think would have made this track even bigger. It would have given it a sense of becoming a much larger track, almost feeling like two songs into one. Alright guys, this is it. This is Hinayana with Death of the Cosmic EP, out August 28th on Napalm Records. Let me know your thoughts on the band, on the singles. Use the comment section below. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.